I wanted to do a couple more on these, or maybe one or two, we'll see, on these outer parts. And I just wanted to make sure that you know that you can choose to not juggle more than you can manage at one time with this technique. So I know on some of these I was both lifting out some color towards the middle and then darkening these edges. If this is all new to you, it's quite likely that that may be an exercise in frustration to do both of those. So you are perfectly welcome to break those steps down into simpler steps. And same idea for how I start out. I'm just going to wet this whole shape. Clean water. And the reason I'm wetting the whole shape is that if I don't, it's quite possible that there'll be just enough color in the brush or in the water that wherever I stop, it will create a subtle edge, and that's not what I want. So just to make sure any of the paints that I'm waking up or adding are going to flow and blend and mix evenly throughout this whole shape, I get the whole shape wet. But what I'm going to do for this one is just concentrate on lightening, scrubbing a little bit more towards the middle here, and lightening up the value. A little bit. This petal has some phthalo paint on it, so those are famous for not wanting to let go. So I'm doing a little extra scrubbing. Try to lighten it up. Extra water there that so hopefully you can see that that's just lightening the value just a little bit, and then I'll let that dry. I'm not going to worry about the darkening part because that's juggling, that may be juggling too much. Let me do that one more time. I'll do it one more time. Yeah, this will be a good example because this one, the one next to it, as I keep thinking about how dark and how light things are, this one seems like it's kind of already light enough at the center, and really all it needs is to be a little bit darker further away it gets. Phthalo colors are interesting in that they don't, most of the color won't let go, but a little bit loves to let go. Speaking of letting go, I'm going to let that thought go, but I'm going to come back and I have some blue greens, phthalo blue and phthalo green, blue shade mixed up a little bit here. And I'm going to just plop in a little bit of darker color like that. Yeah, around the tip, and so the idea is to make sure you're sort of understanding where you want lighter values and where you want darker values to have the contrast that you want. So this one was a little bit too light, so instead of lightening it up there like I did here, I'm darkening it up around here. And I think I'll even get my smaller brush, maybe a little bit more concentrated paint. That might not be on camera. But there's a little bit more phthalo blue and phthalo green. You maybe couldn't see that, but now I'm going to come back in and focus on closer to the edges even more. And I'm tipping just so I can be as in charge of which way the water is moving as possible. Yeah, so that's a good demonstration of different ways of achieving a similar effect. To really finish this one off, I'll come back after it dries and water it down and then add a little bit of darker color around here. I think that worked out pretty well.